Trudeau's policies have literally killed children. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Well, I was traveling this week, so I missed this originally, but I went back and watched some question periods, and this was very interesting. Take a look at this exchange between Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau.
La semaine dernière.
Last week, a woman was stabbed near a hard drugs injection site, the Maison Benoît Larbre, near a primary school. This tragedy could have been avoided if the Prime Minister had accepted what I asked around 3 months ago. I asked for hard drug injection sites to be closed and for money to be invested in drug treatment. Will the Prime Minister finally close down this hard drug injection site, which is right near a school? Mr. Speaker, all Canadians deserve to live in safe communities, and that is a responsibility we take seriously. But part of taking a challenge like this seriously is listening to experts and listening to people working on the front lines of the opioid and toxic drug crisis in order to help people to get through these difficult times. Yes, we need to invest in help for these people. We also need to invest in ways to protect Canadians. We will base what we do on science and evidence, not on ideology and politics.
Well, in my opinion, that's a lie. He's not basing anything on evidence and science. He's basing everything on ideology, a sick ideology. A little later on in question period, Pierre brought up a very disturbing case. Let's take a look at this.
Quote, children are not able to buy alcohol. They're not able to buy marijuana or cigarettes, but they can have access to crack pipes and kits to be able to do so-called safe injection. It's just wrong. These are the words of the stepfather of Bianna MacDonald, the 13-year-old girl who lost her life to a drug overdose in Abbotsford after she was denied treatment but offered drug paraphernalia by the authorities. When will the Prime Minister end this radical agenda, close the drug dens, defund unsafe supply, and treat addiction to bring our loved ones home drug-free?
Mr. Speaker, tragedies like that are unthinkable, and we need to do everything we can as orders of government to bring them to an end, to protect kids, to protect communities, to protect vulnerable people. That's why we work hand in hand with local authorities, with provincial authorities on the plans that will suit them, that will keep communities safe. We know there's not one size fits all solution. We know that ideology isn't the answer. Only the application of science, of compassion, of investments that will help people through this terrible epidemic.
Mr. Speaker, this young girl's family begged hospital treatment for their vulnerable teenager. Instead, she was given drug paraphernalia. This is all part of the radical experiment that the Prime Minister and the NDP have imposed and have contributed to 47,000 drug overdose deaths, with the biggest increases in the places where this approach has been tried. Alberta has reduced overdoses by 50% with treatment. Why won't he follow the science and back the plans that work?
For anyone puzzled by the link or the not link to federal jurisdiction in that question, that was an ad in support of John Rustad, the BC Conservative leader who's about to be in a campaign, the leader of the opposition continues to focus on ideology while we roll up our sleeves, work with partners on delivering solutions for Canadians. We need to lead with compassion and science, and that is what we will always do.
So there he goes, passing the buck again, not taking responsibility for his own failed agenda. He doesn't care that that little girl died. He doesn't care that the woman that Pierre Poilievre referred to in the exchange before that was stabbed. And he doesn't care about all of the people, the 47,000 people who have died of drug overdoses since his failed policy. He doesn't care that Alberta has cut overdose deaths in half because they're focusing on treatment instead of enabling. This guy's just pure evil.
Mr. Speaker, it is federal because this federal prime minister has offered a criminal code and Controlled Drugs and Substances Act exemption to allow the drug dens to go ahead, and he has spent hundreds of millions of dollars on tax-funded, unsafe supply that is killing our people and addicting our kids. It's just like on car theft, where he's brought in catch and release and house arrest for career car thieves. Today, he has a chance to reverse himself and vote for Common Sense Bill C-379 to bring in mandatory jail time for career car thieves. Will he do the right thing?
Mr. Speaker, once again, we see a return to the failed Stephen Harper tough on crime policies that don't work, Mr. Speaker. Mandatory minimums struck down by the Supreme Court don't work.
Failed tough on crime policy. Well, let's just think about that. Crime is through the roof now that Justin Trudeau is in power, but crime was on the decrease when Stephen Harper was in power. This guy's completely clueless. It's almost like he's drinking his own Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah! Or maybe he's dipping into his own safe supply. Since Justin Trudeau gained power, primarily on his guarantee or his promise to legalize cannabis, he has progressively gotten worse and worse with his policies on drugs. In British Columbia, there are thousands of people who are dying each year directly as a result of his policies. It started with safe injection sites, which allowed people to consume illegal drugs. And then the BC government made drug use in public legal with the assistance of Justin Trudeau, effectively decriminalizing all drugs for everyone. And when that failed to keep people alive, they started giving people so-called safe supply. Of course, that safe supply ends up on the street being sold. And then the people who sell those drugs buy more potent drugs. This is just a complete failure. But what happened after that? There was a spike in overdose deaths. And who's to blame for the deaths? That lies squarely on David Eby and Justin Trudeau for their failed policies. They are radical, they are wacko, and they are dangerous. And I believe that they also demonstrate just how callous and heartless these two leaders are. Think of that 13-year-old girl in Abbotsford who died because the hospital didn't offer her the required treatment. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe there wasn't funding enough, but there's funding enough for the safe injection sites. There's funding enough for the so-called safe supply. And there's funding enough to give her drug paraphernalia, and that she ultimately did use to kill herself. These two governments are sick, and they're destroying our society. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you have to say. Put your opinion down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends, and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Oh, and ring that bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, on Thursday nights, I do have a live stream. I invite you to join in. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Also, down below in the description, there's links to all of my social media, including a link to my website. And from that website, you can sign up for the Canadian Firearm Safety courses. If you reside on Vancouver Island or you're going to be on the island for a few days, check it out. Contact me and maybe we can set you up with a course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.